I was just claiming seats in case it would rather be farther out here. He tends to be on that side. So, TD,
How are you doing?
I'm saying Bud Brown and kicking dirt.
Well, that's pretty good.
I do like to
I can't complain.
didn't do as much work anyway.
No, I'm doing good. Doing good.
Came up from Australia and then ended up going back again.
Good morning. We're going to start the service now, so if you can all find a seat.
You sure your thing on?
Good morning. We're going to start the service now. LT, where you're being blessed to hear, is going to continue to play for a few more minutes. Good morning again. Today we're double blessed with a beautiful day instead of rain and a special presenter, Rian Ta'amata. But around the planet, he's better known as LT Smooth. This would be a great time
Oh, cheers.
to present Malay.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was made and presented by Patty Wall. She's a regular
Thank you, Patty.
lay minister. This would also be a good time to turn off your cell phones, so not to interrupt the service. Well, a big aloha to all of you who are here today. And I was going to say the equivalent of it in New Zealand, my brain is just not capable of remembering.
I got you back, buddy.
So what is it? For those that are with us on the lanai and those that are watching home or will be watching, last week we had a little problem. The internet went down in the middle of the service. We're hoping that this doesn't, no big technical glitches today. Right now we're going to start out with a reading from the Science of Mind magazine by Pasha McGregor. Pasha.
Hello. So the title of the reading I'm going to share is called Size Matters Not. And the first quote is from Yoda. Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? And well, you should not, for my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we. And after the quote from Yoda is a quote from Ernest Holmes, the founder of Religious Science and the first editor of this magazine. When we say there's but one mind and we use it, we are stating a self-evident proposition. All problems, regardless of their nature or size, resolve themselves into one basic problem. We have not accepted our full spiritual inheritance. And the essay for this day is by a CSL minister named Anderson. How many people did it take to change the cultural consciousness regarding women's rights to vote, desegregation, the voting rights of Black people, and the basic human rights of LGBTQ people? While many still cling to the old paradigms of separation, othering, and supremacy, rooted in a construct of racial, gender, sexual orientation, the tides are turning. The number of people who are committed to equity, justice, sustainable living, and radical inclusion is growing. The size of Goliath matters not. Whatever form Goliath takes does not matter. There are more and more people out in the world doing the work. We need not be curious about what Jesus would do, but rather we should ask, what am I doing? What Goliath am I called to stand up to? And by the power of divine awareness, caused to come tumbling down. The size of the darkness does not matter. What matters is that you enter the darkness with your light and watch the darkness fade. Aren't you curious to see that happen? The affirmation for the day, I'll read the whole thing and then I'll do each part and allow time for you to repeat it. Like David, I stand before Goliath. I shine so brightly that the walls, fears, and disease of hate fall. Where they once stood, I sow love, hope, and healing. Okay, so listen and repeat if you wish to. Like David, I stand before Goliath.
Like David, I stand before Goliath.
I shine so brightly
I shine so brightly
that the walls, fears, and disease of hate fall down.
that the walls, fears, disease, hate fall down.
Where they once stood,
Where they once stood,
I sow love, hope, and healing.
I sow love, hope, and healing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pasha. Thank you, Pasha. I stand before Goliath, David. That's great. Now we're going to do an opening prayer. And actually, we're praying all the time, whether we realize it or not, because our attitude is an ongoing prayer. It never stops. It's how we see the world and ourselves, so the way we think it is. And but how willing are we really to let go of missed past learning? Like what causes what? So this is an opportunity to let go of the past and look at things as they are now without judgment or guilt. So if you will, please close your eyes and get comfortable, put your feet on the floor. Just take that deep breath you've all been practicing to let go with. We're just going to hang out together for just a moment and ask for a download from your personal guide of how things really are. So take a deep breath. Let it go. Cut the strings on your ego balloon. You can drift back down in just a moment. And I'll ring a gong to bring us back to this room. And yes, levitation is permissible. Welcome back. I know we're all here to hear LT's message, and I believe that he has a message in his music, so I want to take advantage of LT while he's here, so I'm going to ask him to play another song right now. So, so peaceful. Thank you. So I'd like to welcome, I see lots of faces I haven't seen here before. Are there any people here for the very first time today? And put the pressure on. Are you willing to like speak up and say where you're from and why your name, that sort of thing, why you're here?
Aloha, my name is Jay. I live like 5 minutes away. I've lived in Kona about a year. I lived in Maui for several years before that. LT performed at my choir concert, which I did a solo at in December. So I know briefly of his greatness, only briefly, and I want to see more of his greatness. So that's why I'm here. And thank you for getting me up early on a Sunday morning.
Oh darn, I was hoping you just came to see me.
You're part of the package deal. We're all part of the package deal.
I saw another hand up over here, or a few hands. Yeah?
Hey, I'm Tom. Live down in Kona. Been on island for 2.5 years. I've heard LT perform in a couple of events that I am, some groups I'm a part of, and it's amazing music. And I was invited by a friend, so I'm grateful to take it all in and meditate and pray with y'all.
Thank you. Any other people who'd like to be a star in New Thought?
I'm BJ. I'm here visiting Tony and Palmer from Victoria on Vancouver Island. And I did once live in New Zealand for 4 years, many years ago.
I hear it's beautiful.
Live Australia.
Thank you, BJ. All right, gone. I'd like to thank all the volunteers that helped set up today, board members that do all the work ahead of time, especially Pasha, Patty Wall for the beautiful lei that she made, the people who are cleaning and helping move the chairs around. Shana Gregory does a lot. I'd like to say something briefly about New Thought. History is like, yeah, the center's been in existence for about 50 years. I think we've been here since sometime in 1990. And it originally started out as a religious science church with a minister, and that minister had to take leave of the island. And ever since, we've been ministering to each other, which has made it very interesting and works out well. Gives everybody a chance to step up. And on the metaphysical, wants to know and understand why they're really here. This is the great preoccupation of the world. Well, it turns out the recognition that you don't understand, I don't know, is a prerequisite to understanding. So it is okay how not to know. That New Thought, that we know and teach that there is a divine presence that knows, this presence of harmony that's ultimately in charge of all the events. And we're not here to teach a particular religious view, any view on how things really are or what they're supposed to stand for. It's more about just learning to be open, giving up our past misinformed learning about how things are. And we're here to teach and learn that we are part of that source of everything, and that this source is actually the only understanding and meaning that exists, that ever will exist. Well, that is quite a mouthful. A shorter version would be, you're okay, I'm okay. So chill out, the source of everything has your back. You're totally safe. So while we're here today enjoying ourselves, let's practice making, and I need to tell this myself, eye-to-eye contact and heart-to-heart contact with each other and the people around you. So welcome to this New Thought Playground. And the next happy game we're going to play today is called Ordinaries and Miracles. If I can borrow this from my partner, Shana, Ordinaries and Miracles is a form of the New Thought version of Share and Tell. And so would anybody like to talk about what expected or unexpected form of gladness or relief suddenly showed up in their life recently? We have a customer in the corner. Come up to the mic. So I'm going to have to get taller because you're so tall.
Well, good morning. My name is Gerling. I have an LT miracle. It was about maybe 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. I don't remember. I needed to cut a really big tree. And I went to go and rent some chainsaws. And I saw this beautiful chainsaw on the wall. And it had a long stick on it. I said, that's what I need. And I said, can I have that? Can I maybe rent it, buy it, or anything like that? And they said, no, you cannot. And because that is from somebody else. And then this man walked up and he said, you want to have this chainsaw? You need this chainsaw? And I said, yeah, I really have a really big tree and I can't reach all the branches and I don't have a long enough ladder. And this man said, here, this is my chainsaw, take it. I will get it back from you when you don't need it anymore. Anyway, thank you.
We still have my chainsaw?
What a guy. That was amazing. Thank
That was a good one. My miracle is that my chainsaws even ever work. Can you?
Yeah.
Come on.
Come up to him.
After the earthquake and everybody dying, thousands, horrible. I was really consumed with death and feeling pretty bad. And so to pick myself up, I went to see Puss in Boots, just as a kid's program to lighten and, how I was feeling. And it turned out to be the most spiritual thing I ever watched. It covered everything from fear of death, betrayal, I forget all the words, but it just touched on every human experience possible. Love, friendship, regret. I forget all the other things, but it
it was a pretty deep thing for a children's program, and it's a little too violent for children. So I'm blessed. I'm glad that I actually got to see it, and that's it. That's the miracle. It got me out of my fear of death.
When something good comes through that you weren't expecting, one definition of a miracle. Can we prevail on you to do one more song before I introduce you? Is there any more miracles first? Jean. Love it. Always smiling.
Okay.
She is a miracle.
As are you, Stephen, as we all are. Wow, look at this. So thank you. Thank you, LT, for being here. Filling our temple here. This is not a huge miracle, except that every moment is a huge miracle. But I don't know, some of you know I've been having back issues. And I went to the acupuncturist, and I'm good again, but it was just a couple of days ago. She goes, no housework. Well, I go a little wacky before I have guests. I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm sure they're going to look underneath that and over this and every little. I don't know if it's because I'm a Virgo, because I'm usually kind of chill, but I go wacky, absolutely kind of crazy before guests. And I have someone coming in this evening. I didn't want to miss you, but yesterday and the day before, my acupuncturist said, no housework. Now my maid, I love him dearly, but housework is not his middle name at all. But he's really come up to bat for me and cleaning windows and everything. I go, oh my gosh, he can. So thank you for this ordinary miracle and for my healing. Thank you for my healing. Hello.
Any other miracles? Yeah. And we're keeping short if you do, because we want to give LT plenty of time. So, but you're welcome.
Can I just walk from back here?
No, you know the drill.
You're going to feel
So,
You have to follow the rules.
Well, thanks, Jean. You just inspired me to come up here because I had my. Oh, you can't hear me?
No, stay on it.
Oh, okay. Now is it? Okay, thanks. Anyway, my sister's daughter, my niece, just came to visit me, and my cousin from Australia is here to share this moment with LT Smooth, who I have danced with many times. No, down at Huggos. I mean, listening to you is what I
haven't danced in 27 years. It's been a while.
And much of my family has done that too. So over the years of being here on the Big Island, and I just realized how such a miracle it is to be living here. And also my cousin that's here, his grandpa died during COVID, and we were not allowed into Australia. So my sister and her husband, his son, could not go to, his own dad's funeral. And that was really, really tough for me because I had sailed from the Panama Canal to the Galapagos with him. And of course, that was a life-changing event in my life and a miracle, because it was always my dream to go to the Galapagos Islands. And I got to go on a sailboat and also go to the Panama Canal and see that engineering miracle. So yeah, a lot of miracles in life. Thanks.
We see you. And we can hear you.
Usually I don't talk because I don't want to subject to you to my hemming and hawing. But I've been in contact spiritually with Volodymyr Zelensky. I pray for him and pray for all the other people that are suffering. Come on. I'm with you suffering. I understand suffering. Suffering. When you come out of suffering, oh, it's a beautiful thing. Near death is near life. Life. And 2 days ago, I heard Zelensky say what his problem is. What's your name of that?
David and Goliath.
Okay, I forgot words. I heard Zelensky said the conflict is between David and Goliath. And Goliath is Putin and his retinue. 2 days ago, I heard him say that. I have been thinking that, God, this is the David and Goliath situation. Okay, so when we're here, it is counterbalancing the negativity. Negative and positive are always on the earth, negative but positive. And if this is balance for all the negative, all the people, including you, as an example, I know I'm through.
Thank you, Ron. Wow, Condor, thank you for sharing your feelings, being out there. Kind of reminds me of a quote or a poem from Rumi I just read this morning. Personally, I have compassion, but let the grief armies assemble. I'm not going with them. I wasn't going to share this. Is anybody hearing me? Yeah. Because I didn't want to jinx it or anything. I've been feeling physically better lately, a lot better. And then I started taking this very mysterious anti-aging wonder. And I'm going like, wow. It's amazing the way I felt a couple of weeks ago. Feeling so much better. So if you're really, really interested in what it is, you can ask me later. To me, it was like, holy cow, it's working? That would be a miracle. And with that, we're on LT Miracle. We play one more song and then I'll introduce you.
Did you give it up for our sound girl right there? Doing a great job. So everything that I came to talk about is out the door. Just and it happens. It always happens, no matter where I travel around the world. I'm speaking in a keynote or whatever it is. Because you could write a book with everyone that's here, and we could probably change the world, literally, with every story that we can hear here. So I think I'm just going to start. Is that okay, Stephen? Stephen, is that okay? Or you want me to play a song?
Hello?
Yes.
But then you're gonna miss out on your introduction.
Okay, well, let me play this song. I just made that up, by the way. Then you can introduce me. You gotta get through that. Go ahead, Stephen.
Isn't he amazing? I mean, it makes me feel so relaxed. Okay. I forgot my introduction.
It doesn't.
Okay. First of all, LT's going to go out to lunch with us today as a guest. So could we get a rough count of like how many people would be interesting to go into this little restaurant right up here at the top of the parking lot?
Stephen's paying, by the way. He's paying. I'll help you, Stephen. I'll help.
So, would you raise your hands again?
I'll go.
All right, we'll call it a dozen. Yeah. So, this man's presence speaks for himself. But first, I would like to say on a personal level, I've talked and met with LT on several occasions, and every time I'm impressed, like how humble he seems to be, and genuinely appreciative of my presence. Right? And he's always giving and caring and doing something for somebody, whether it's giving strangers chainsaws.
Which I want it back, because I got some and then I'll give it back to you. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
So, like us ordinary people, LT's gone through lots of changes in his lifetime. He's faced challenges in the past, with the law, substance abuse, relationships. Like, born and raised in New Zealand, music has been the big change in his life. By the way, he's over 24, 25 years sober now. The music that he plays and composes reflects on overcoming the struggles that he has faced in his life. Music is his tool to help encourage and heal what we all go through in life. Through the music, he shares freedom for all of us. He has 4 albums out, which altogether sold over 1 million copies. He's also, obviously, an inspirational speaker. He just spoke and played at the World Economic Development Conference in Stockholm, Sweden, in front of all the world leaders. But there's more, but no need to go on. Please welcome LT Smooth.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much.
Was it worth the wait?
It was amazing. It really was. Thank you so much for having me and those who are watching. You know, I was sitting at home early this morning. I get up, I don't know about you, but I do have a routine myself. I do get up early in the morning at 4 o'clock. My alarm goes off and I meditate. How many of you meditate? Like honestly, from the last time it came, how many still meditate? Do you know meditation, taking the time out to meditate, is basically giving back to yourself. Not only giving back to what you believe in and what you're going through, to be able to pause a little bit and go, stop. The banks will always come back for your money, so don't even worry about that. Right? The world is going to keep spinning. Our waters are going to keep rising. It's going to continue to get hot. So stop and pause for a second. And then think about how blessed you are to be alive. Literally, the gift of life is the best gift you could ever have. It's not things, it's not what we have, it's not what we've accomplished. It's for the fact that you woke up and you are still alive today. You know? And I was thinking about the Lion King this morning, about Simba. Got surrounded by the hyenas. And the hyenas, all of them, like 30 of them around Simba. And then Simba pulled out a big roar, this little line. Wow! And the hyena's like, well, that's all you got? And he's like, I got more. And he went, wow! The second time, and the hyenas were looking at each other like, now we're going to eat him. And then he said, one more time. And then he roared, wow! And it bounced off the mountainsides. And the hyenas ran for it. And he's like, wow, that came out of my mouth. And he turned around, and it was his dad, Mufasa, with that roar. And it reminded us that we're never alone, that his son, his father knew where he was no matter what. He turned around, his foundation was always there. He will always be there to pick you up no matter what. Now I'm looking around, I've been looking around since I got here, and since you guys have been here, we could literally think about the youngest kid in here. How old are you?
14.
And is she the youngest here in the room? Because she is the reason why we really are here. Because she is the next, who's taking the next baton off us, right? So it'll be her, me, and then the next generation after me. Because as you said, having no fear to death. Death is gonna come no matter what. Are we ready for death? Of course I'm ready. If it's my time, it's my time. It's okay. But in the meantime, I'm not gonna pull my energy into that. I'm gonna pull my energy into paving the road for that 14-year-old right there, so that they can have a better planet to live in, a better universe, a better place like our island, to be able to pave the road for them so they can carry on the legacy that we all live. Because it's not things that we leave behind, it's what we leave in that 14-year-old girl that will last forever. Think about that for a second. And I was thinking about that, Lion King, because foundations are a really important thing. And we could all go all day about foundation. It's like a canoe. Like I watch you canoe. I watch you on the 6-man all the time. You don't know, but I'm watching to be able to go, what number is he? Is he a number 4 powerhouse? Every person in that canoe plays a part in that foundation, no matter what. It's so important that we think about that in life, no matter if it's 80, 90 years old. My ukulele student is 93 years old. He comes to my house with a piece of paper and a bread every Sundays, and I told him today was not the day because they're gonna come here. He's like, well, I'll bring my bread and I'll bring my paper and then I'll leave. I'm like, okay, thank you so much, John. And so he comes very faithfully because I am his foundation. He says, you light up my world when I come to your house. So something for some reason, and I think that's the other way around. And all we do is we probably spend 5 minutes on ukulele and then we just talk story the whole time. Because I want to learn so much about his generation. I want to learn so that I can pave what I'm doing now for the next generation, for them, to be able to leave something for them to think of. And I was thinking about that. And then thinking about worth and value. I'm not sure if a lot of us know what your worth and value are in life. Doesn't matter if you're 19 years old or 14 years old, is to know that what are you worth and what are you valued? Like me going to the White House, for example. They looked at me and they valued and worthed me pretty low, just because I had tattoos probably, right? And they pulled up my criminal record and it came 0. And then when I got in, I asked them, hey, by the way, did you do a record? They said, yeah, you were clean. I'm like, okay. And so the world sees us a little different until I started playing, you know. And when I started playing, they're like, doesn't match. Yeah. The gentleness of this playing and the soul comes out through the strings. Doesn't make sense. It's because we're in the world, but we don't have to be the world. Get it? We live in the world, but we don't have to be what they want us to be. We can continue on our path, which our creator or whatever the universe has made us to become. Because at the end of the day, as we all know, we will face death in the time that we were supposed to go home to that next planet or the next place they call heaven, right? So my question, my challenge today, because I changed my whole just by listening, is to be able to go, hey, listen, we're blessed to be alive. That is the best gift to do. Like the chainsaw thing, I had no idea. I was wondering where my other chainsaw went. And so I ended up buying another 5 more because they keep going missing. Now I know why it keeps going missing, because I keep giving them away. Then my brother came up and goes, hey, you remember? So now I know even the giving part, it's a lifestyle for me. I don't do it just for the sake of feel. Like I felt sorry for that brother, so here, take my chainsaw, right? I do it because it's part of my life. That's what I do. I would give everything away. If you ask for my Tesla, which I don't have, I would give it away with a smile because I'm not attached to these things. I'd rather have change than things. Do you get it? And it has to be a lifestyle, even the way we think, right? Even his health, just by the things that he's doing to change the way he feels and the way his health is. I've lost a lot of pounds myself. I've lost 285 pounds. Since the last time you saw me, I've lost a lot more. Not because because I knew I was coming back here and I wanted to lose some more weight. I wanted to do it because I knew I could feel better. I'll breathe better. I'll be around for my grandkids. I'll be around for myself to be able to pay more for this next generation. That's it. Because we all have a path. Like we literally all have a path on our own to be able to go to a destination. Do we know our calling? That's another one. Do we know our calling in life? Are we just gonna sit on this island and just continue to pick papayas off our tree and avocados? And no, or do we really want to make a change? My calling is to continue to pave the road for them. That's my calling. So I'm building a music school for kids. Does anyone know where I am, right? So the last time you came, I've done all the classrooms out of shipping containers. I built all the classrooms already. It's all done. I built my commercial kitchen. I built a pavilion bigger than this, 50 feet by 50 feet, not big. Pavilion all by all here, all the woods that they threw out in Ka'u side, I dragged them all back into my property and dried them out and built a pavilion, which is called a learning center for kids. Now I have about 130 kids every week teaching workshops about excellency, how to be excellent about something, how to work with wood, how to weld with metal, and how to play music with the soul. All those things, and we do it for free. It's because everything I've learned is for free. I've never been to school. You know, I grew up in gangs all my life, dealt with drugs pretty much all my life. And I finally realized there must be a reason why I'm still around. There really is. And I finally realized that music, for some reason, just helps me get through. So every time I write music, for example, This guitar, I just got it about a month ago. This guitar comes from a place called Nakawawa, and it's probably older than a lot of things around here. It's about 1,000 years old log that they pulled out of a barn. It was the only log they pulled out, and it's called and the wood you can see in the back. It's that log pulled out from that fire, and they built a guitar. Froggy Guitars is from Pennsylvania and Vermont, and all the wood came from Pennsylvania as they dried it and milled it over there. And they heard me perform at the NAMM show in Anaheim, and they said, we need to build that guy a guitar out of this beautiful family wood. And so they did. And then I played it, and it changed a lot of lives just by playing it. Unique thing about this guitar, it has so much soul. And you can only imagine 1,000-year-old wood would sound this way. It's pretty incredible. It really is. It moves me. It really does. Not much guitar move, actually not much things move me at all. But this moves me. And I wanted to share that with you. And I'll finish up with the song that I wrote on this guitar. So, but anyway, going back to the fact of worth and value, if we all know our worth and value, it is so important that we continue on that journey to know your worth and your value, right? If I asked you, what is your worth? What would you say? Yes, you.
I say my worth is promoting sustainability, my goals. Shortly after arriving here 48 years ago, realizing that the state is 98% dependent upon fossil fuels from countries that don't like us, I committed myself, became one of the first solar contractors in the state, and have ever since been doing everything I could to promote energy, food, and economic sustainability.
So he's doing his part because he knows his worth, right? And so what are you valued?
No.
There you go. So we know, like I always say to kids, what do you want to do in life? They say, oh, we're trying to figure it out. And I always say to them, figure it out very fast because time is ticking. And by the time you know it, if you're 14, by the time you'll be 21. And if I come back here and you say, at 21, and I ask you, what are you doing? And you say, don't know. I'm going to drag you in my pickup truck and I'm going to chuck you on a machine if that's what you don't know what you want to do. And that's what I've had. I've had 19 kids up in my property running all my machines who are building my places. These kids had no idea what they wanted to do. I'm like, well, I do. You can grab a chainsaw, you can jump on the backhoe. I don't know how to write. Well, I'm going to teach you. In 5 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to write that thing. And these kids are still with us since 2013. Can you believe that? And I pay them $20 an hour out of my own pocket so that they know they're valued. Oh, I'm not worth it. Oh, yes, you are. You know? And so I have to tour all over the world and find out ways to raise money to be able to pay these kids so that these kids feel like they're worth something and they're valued well. Because that's what they need to know. Doesn't matter what country you come from. And by the way, Australia is my home. I became a citizen before I left. So I know Australia really well because I worked with the Aborigines for about 9 years. All the way from Melbourne, all the way up to Darwin. And worked with the Aborigines all the way up. So I know value and I know worth. But to this morning, what is your value and what is your worth? It's a question that we all can ask ourselves. Because life is ticking on and we need to know what our legacy is by the time we leave this place. Correct? And if you don't know your legacy, well, maybe we'll figure it out during lunch. Because struggles are real. We all struggle no matter what. And sometimes life doesn't feel like it's being fair. Sometimes we wake up and we have excuses like my daughter, 19-year-old, she had a baby at 18 and now I have a grandson. And I named him Messiah, strength from the Hebrew Bible. And I wake up and I go, out of that pain that we went through at 18 years old when we found out she was pregnant, I was so devastated. But out of that pain came the blessing. And I didn't know what it was. And now we have a beautiful boy, grandson boy, named Isaiah. And so sometimes we don't know where our path is, but we have to figure it out. I would think after a certain amount of years of our lives, we would know what our calling is, correct? Does everyone in this room know our calling, where you're called to do, what you're called to be? Does everyone have that calling still? No one. 3 people. Or we're just going to continue on this ride on what we feel. We rely on feel, but we don't know. If we don't plug into the universe or don't plug into something, how would we know? You know, no matter how busy I was, Stephen was so faithful by harassing me constantly. Are you available yet? Are you available yet? If it wasn't for his faithfulness on what he is called to do and what he believes in, I wouldn't be sitting here today and sharing what I need to share. And thank you for doing that. It's worth every moment I have here. Thank you so much for that.
Nagging just comes naturally.
Yeah. I was getting to that next. You already said it. And so we have a purpose in life. And I challenge you to know what your purpose is. You know, and even in a marriage, in a relationship, we have struggles. There's always ups and downs. There's always this and that. But knowing our foundation, if you build a house on sand, obviously it's going to collapse. If you build your house on a solid cement pad, it's going to last quite a bit until the earthquake comes. Right? So knowing where to build our life on. Every day you came here, it wasn't a waste of time. It really wasn't. It was just a reminder to us this morning that you were meant to be here today for a reason. Either to come and see me because of that chainsaw story, thank you, appreciate that. But at the end of the day, it challenged me to know, wow, that calling that I'm called to give will only be better, will only get better, and I'll just continue to live my life that way as a giver. And you know, there's a function next week that they're honoring us. And I feel like I'm not worth it, you know, but I am worth it. I just don't want to say I'm worth it, because I got so much more work to do to give back to our community and to the world. The Economic World Forum was a beautiful event, again, with all those world leaders there. And I brought back that I wanted to start up my own facility after the music school to build a facility for what's it called? Mental health. Because we have a lot of problems mentally, not only in our kids, but in people in general. We have people from Iraq come back, and some of my best friends that were wounded mentally, and so they've taken their lives. And so mental health is a big deal, and I wanted to come back and try and start something here on the island for mental health. And so I have my path and I have my journey and I know where I'm going, my vision. But to be able to follow it through, like you did this morning when you got up, a little sore back, I need my coffee, you know. But you made it. That's the hardest part of this morning, was that you came and you made it. And now it's time for us to say to you, thank you. Thank you so much for that sacrifice. You have no idea what it does for us, what it does for Stephen, but what it does for yourself, to be encouraged. Now, I wrote a song. I don't know how much time do I have, Stephen. Yeah. And so I wrote a song. And I know I performed all over the world in different places where you saw me perform, and I had no idea what I was doing there, but I just did what I did. And I wrote this song based on life. And my new album that's coming out is called Live. And a lot of us don't understand what the word live really means, and we have struggles in our own lives. Even when you turn off the lights, no one knows if you're smoking or whatever you're doing, it's still bright. No matter what, no matter how you look at it, what it is you just try to have to know you, love you, take care of you, know your worth and your value to be able to go, I can overcome that problem. I can overcome that, and I can go to the next step of my life. Because sometimes people don't understand that. If we don't overcome that problem, you can't get through to the next stage. It's because that will always be a hindrance to getting to the next step of your life. And age continues to go on, right? We never stop aging, right? Kind of like this guitar, right? Yeah. My brother died during COVID, and I watched his whole life go on a telephone, on a cell phone. When they Skyped him, he took his last breath as I saw him die. And then a couple of days later, they buried him. So I watched his funeral on a phone. And it was so devastating for me because I couldn't get a ticket to go to New Zealand because of COVID. So they wouldn't let me in the country, even though I'm a citizen. And so I got to watch the whole thing on a phone. It was devastating. For me, it was to see my own oldest brother, not even to hold his hand, but to watch him take his last breath. It made me think that our struggles are real, no matter what we went through. And he died with the most thing that we sometimes don't realize, especially in Polynesia, diabetes. He died from diabetes. Not only did he die from diabetes, but he had COVID at the same time. And it was really, really difficult to breathe. And then his heart slowed down and he ended up dying. So during that time, I wrote this song and I finally finished it. And everything about this song is called Live. To be able to count your blessings every day. To be able to wake up and go, thank you, universe, thank you, Father, for the gift of life. Thank you for my husband. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for my kids, even though they're really naughty and they're brats. But I love them to death, and I will do anything it takes to make sure that they succeed in life. Right? Yeah. That's what we need to exercise every day, I think, Stephen, is to be able to wake up and go, thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much for your faithfulness to get me here. But thank you for you. Sometimes we don't get enough pats on the back to be able to go, you're doing an amazing job, Stephen. You don't have to do it. You could sit at home, watch Wheel of Fortune if you wanted to. But he decides to give back. And giving back is to sacrifice his time, his life, so that you can have prosperity and life too. Did you know that? Everyone here today has a purpose in life. And if we stand naked in front of the Father, whoever it may be at the end of your life, none of us are going to be there but yourself. And there's only one thing I believe, is you're just going to get a nice big pat on the back and go, thank you so much for all that you did in life. You're worth it, and I value you to the death. And so I wrote this song, with a new song on my album called Struggles, called Live. The struggles are real, and a walk of life feels. Sometimes it goes no way. A cup feels so full as we struggle to pour, but really it's empty today. Struggles are real and I walk a life feels. Sometimes it goes no way. The cup feels so full as we struggle to pour, but really it's empty today. We will fall, then get up. We will fail, but we'll try again. We will cry and we will smile, but most of all we will live. I love this next verse actually. We get up not knowing where we are going, or what day it is today. With no goals or vision, it's like we're stuck in prison, but yet the keys are in your hand. We get up not knowing where we are going, what day it is today. With no goals or vision, it's like we're stuck in prison, but yet the keys are in your hand. We will fall, then get up. We will fail, but we'll try again. We will cry and we will smile, but most of all we will live. Our soldiers fight wars to give us a freedom, and battles they fight till they die. We honor those before us who've lost their lives, so we may have freedom for life. The soldiers fight wars to give us a freedom, battles they fight till they die. We honor those before us who've lost their lives, so we may have freedom for life. We will fall, then get up. We will fail or try again. We will cry and we will smile, but most of all we will live. But most of all we will live. And most of all we will live. And if you listen to those lyrics, they're very true. Sometimes we wake up in the morning, we have no idea what we're going to do, no idea where we're going, no vision, no purpose, no nothing. And then the day goes by, and then you wake up and you do it all over again. Well, we could change that. We could find a purpose, we could find a reason to live, and then go towards that, because death will come no matter what. But we don't have to wait for that. We can continue to live until that moment comes in our lives. Because when it's time to go home to another place, then it's time to go home. I will leave you with this. Life is like seasons. It changes, right? It's like spring and winter and summer. Our lives are like that. It comes up and down, up and down. But if we could find a place to be able to stay straight, like Kona, it's always sunny most of the time anyway. It's been raining lately. I'm not sure why, global warming, climate change, but to be able to go, to be happy, to find that stability, to be happy, continue to give, continue to paddle, to motivate those young generation that no matter how hard it is and tough those waves are, you can accomplish it. You keep going, because life is not supposed to be easy. It only reminds us how blessed we really are to have what we have in this life, right? In my culture in New Zealand, as they say, kia ora. Everyone say kia ora. It was horrible. Let's try that again. Kia ora. Kia ora. Kia ora means Hello means goodbye, means many things. But in the language, everything that we do in life will be blessed. Sir, everything. Everything that you do in life will be blessed. Everything you say will be blessed. Everything you touch will continue to be blessed. Keep that confident in your mind, like music, like Lauren. Every time you play that piano will be blessed. It's not how many notes we can play. Just find the sweet ones. Find the ones that really count the most. And that will bless people the most. Stephen, it's been an honor to be here again. I'll leave you with this one. Can you mute this for a second? And I brought the guitar, just the guitar. I brought you something that's from our island, so that you realize I travel the world with this guitar here. And this guitar is not just a guitar. This guitar was built by a gentleman here on the island, Derek. They used to own the Mike music shop up Keliki called Ginnens. Cool thing about it is that Mokwe Kawa Church went through a restoration and they threw out all the wood, right? And I grabbed all that wood and built this guitar out of it. And I brought it for you because this guitar is all from that church. And if you look at the headstock, the whole thing has got the Mokwe Kawa Church, and when this wood was dragged down in 1837, this wood was dragged down. And when they went through the restoration, they took all that wood and put it in the dumpster. Well, we grabbed all the wood and made a guitar out of it so that I know where my foundation started from. So when I travel the world and I'm teaching kids music, I always tell them how amazing this piece of guitar that I'm holding a guitar that all these men that dragged all this wood down from the mountainside took all that hard work. And now I can take that little bit of history and share it with the world. And that's what foundation is finding that ground like you do, Stephen, every day. Well, you don't get recognized that much. That's the problem. The problem is that you need to be recognized and you need to be thanked all the time for what you do. So thank you so much, Stephen. But to be able to take that foundation and go, hey, I'm going to build my home on that foundation. They can only imagine all that wood that they dragged down before all these things were here. That church was the first thing that stood on this island, the Mokwe Kawa Church. And all this wood was dragged down by those Hawaiians, or all those workers. And now I'm so proud to own something from 1837 and to be able to play it too at the same time. So I'm going to leave you. Would you like to hear it before I finish? Just keep this muted, sweetheart. And these guitars are pretty expensive guitars. And so it took Derek about a year to build it. One time. And so thank you so much. I hope you've kind of heard a little bit and helped you a little bit there, you know. You can turn it on now. Okay, it's okay. I can. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Don't try that at home. It's very dangerous. It's been a pleasure playing for you. Good morning, and thank you so much once again. Thank you, Stephen. We'll see you again soon.
Yes, that was so amazing. Like to play like that and be tuning at the same time. I find it.
Yeah, don't try that at home. It's
You
very
know
dangerous.
what you're doing. I forgot to mention, New Thought applause usually is sign language for applause. You go like this, but today has been such a special day in my life. Let's give L.T. Smith a big clapping hand.
I still want my chainsaw back.
It's been also amazing. Now we're going to pass the cold bowl around for donations. Give if you can. If you can't give money, just give your goodwill and possibly consider volunteering sometime. If you'd like to show some monetary appreciation for New Thought for Sundays like this one,
Can I request fly away?
and you can share your money as a way of sharing love. You can open a channel for greater abundance for yourself. Also, online donations. On our website, there's a donate button at the top of the New Thought website. So if you could use your money to do for the guitars, get us through the donation period with something that makes people want to donate.
That was a good one. If it shall come back to you, press down, shake it up, and do it again. Give, and it shall come back to you. Do it over again. Is that a good song, Stephen? Give, it shall come back to you. Press down, shake it up, let's do it all over again. Give, it shall come back to you. Give to the church. That's a national anthem for the church now. I probably can't. Fly away. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Why don't we all sing it then? Fly away with me. Fly away with me. I will fly away to the end of time. Fly away with me. Here we go. Fly away with me. Fly away with me. I will fly away to the end of time. Fly away with me. I search the world for you. I will climb the mountains for you. I will sail the seas just to be with you. I'm changed because of you. My wind will carry me through. You have given me hope when I needed it most, and yet you still love me. Here we go. Fly away with me. Fly away with me. I will fly away to the end of time. Fly away with me. Fly, fly away with me. Fly away with me. I will fly away. There's like 5,000 of you and only me. Here we go, try it again. Fly away. Come on. Fly away with me. I will fly away to the end of time. Fly away with me. I will fly away to the end of time. Fly away with me.
Thank you all so much. A little blessing for the bold. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that we are, and all that we have, and all that we circulate. And thank you so much. And now we're going to do some announcements briefly, and then we'll get ready to do the closing song and go to lunch. It's coming up at New Thought Center of Hawaii, Sunday service, of course, at 10 a.m. in person or by live stream. For the next 3 Sundays, on the 26th is our annual membership meeting, plus a talk by Music User. We have music by Kaiwana Lighthawk, and there will be a light lunch being served after the meeting. On March 5th, we have Shelley Pearson, Lessons and Messages from My 500-Mile Camino Walk, music by Uma Pajedo. And then Ua K. Winston on 3/12 will be Astrological Influences for 2023. And music by Joe Conte, who's also an excellent musician and plays a really great instrument. Special events on March 5th, a workshop with Shelley Pearson, Embracing the Path from the Past. And that's from 1:30 to 4:30, $35 for that. Weekly classes, Monday, we have a great 4:30 to 5:30 Tai Chi and Qigong class with Jan Ann Wong, teaching all levels. $15 per class, or what, $45, $50 a month. Monthly events, well, last Sunday of the month we have produce giveaway, like limes and avocados and fruit and so on. Crystal bowls are on the first Sunday of the month, possibly to be changed in the very near future to the second Sunday of the month. We'll stay tuned on that. New members will be honored on Sunday the 26th, just before the annual meeting starts. And if you are still considering being a member, there's blank forms on the table over here to become a member. So we'll honor you anyways. You just come. And if you're already a member, you can check your form on the entry table to make sure all the information is correct. Service opportunities, Sunday service, volunteers, greeters, setup, cleaner, tech help. And if you have any extra time you think you would like to give for service, you can contact myself or Pasha McGregor after the service. We have one lay minister, so somebody who enjoys making things. But if anybody else is interested in learning how to make lays, we possibly have a teacher with a tag wall will help you get started. So if you want to volunteer to anything, just reply to the New Thought Center newsletter. And if you want to be on the mailing list for things, sign the guest book over here to get a weekly newsletter, and that's enough. As Conrad would say, we're done. So now we could do the closing song. You can gather in circle and reflection, and if you want to hold hands, or can you get something?
The reason why we do the circle, for those who don't know, that it's a lay, there's no beginning and there's no end. And we're one big family, all joined in one. So we're going to sing this beautiful song. Have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Aloha.
It would change. Hey, my brother. Yes.